It's easy to let a broken heart get the best of us. We can find ourselves feeling lost, disillusioned, and unsure of how to move forward. But as the saying goes, time heals all wounds. It may not feel like it in the moment, but we eventually find ourselves in a place of clarity and understanding. In order to get to that place, we have to be intentional about our healing process. We have to allow ourselves to feel the pain and process it in a healthy way. This might mean journaling, talking to a trusted friend or a therapist, or engaging in self-care activities like exercise or meditation. But it's not just about healing from a broken heart. It's about using that experience as a catalyst for personal growth. When we go through a difficult time, we have an opportunity to learn about ourselves and what we truly want in life. We can use that knowledge to make positive changes and create the life we want. So if you're going through heartbreak right now, remember that it won't last forever. You have the strength within you to heal and move forward. And when you do, you'll be stronger and wiser than before.
Incorporate the way that I needed to incorporate fully. So how's it going today, y'all? I was earlier on in the video I talked about being ghosted at 50. Child. Love is a battlefield. Girl, she ain't lied when she made that song. But we are old. Niggas in these streets are getting bold. Take your money and they go us. Love is a battlefield. For real, yo, what the fuck was that? Like, if I ain't learned nothing, I definitely know what my mama say is true. Don't you give them niggas no money. If they come to your door with their hat in their hand, you don't even tell them that you got it. You ain't got nothing for them. You ain't got no beans, greens, tomatoes, potatoes, ham, and you name it. You ain't got it. You ain't got it. Anyway, hey everyone, welcome to Bubbles and Sauce. I am Angie and this is Pretty. Say hi, Pretty. You want to say hi to the people? Not today? You just want to? All right. I guess she's going to hang out with me today for this story time. And it's going to be a rather lengthy one. The story time begins in 2020. And as you can tell by the thumbnail, it's about being ghosted. My take on it, I was unfortunate to have such an experience. And so I felt as though I owe it to my audience to talk about it, because that experience was or is the catalyst for being the guide. I want to start this video off by saying that I'm not giving this account to demonize the gentleman who did it. He's not a demon, right? Nor to victimize myself. I'm not a victim. This is just an account of what took place and how I was able to get through it with certain tools and techniques, right? Which I do put in the book. But I want to talk about it because I think for the most part, dating has become a sport in the minds of many. People don't take it seriously anymore. People tend to approach it as folly, as a game. To hell with a person's feelings, it seems like. It seems like people are in it just for the shits and the giggles, unbeknownst to those of us who may really want to have a significant bond, right? Hold on for a minute. So, as I was saying, I don't want anybody to walk away from this video feeling sorry for me. Again, that's not the reason as to why I'm putting this out there. I want people to understand that there are hurt people literally walking around looking to hurt unsuspecting people. And it's unfortunate for them. I want to pass on the tools that helped me get through it in a way in which I did not sabotage sabotage myself. And I forgot to put my earbuds in. So I'm going to put them in right now so that we have better audio. This one, it took me a while to do this, right? But I'm here now. And it's not an easy subject to approach, but I think it's important because, again, it is the reason why the guide was made. So this is mine. Don't go trying to snatch nothing pretty. It's my baby. She just want to be all up in the video. Hold on. I'm trying my best to see. Here we go. All right. All right. So I'm back. So I'm going to start this off with how I met I'm going to call him Mr. M. It was in 2020. And as you know, the whole world was dealing with some real fearful issues. I mean, you had to have been living under a rock to have not been affected by what was taking place in 2020. And so at the beginning of 2020, I had broken my ankle, and it was in February, the last Sunday of February. And or was it the last Sunday? It was the last Sunday of March, excuse me. It was the last Sunday of March, and I had to go back to work that Monday. And I couldn't go back to work. I was pretty much asked to stay home. So I was pretty much in the house before the lockdowns actually occurred. And so I didn't even have a pet at the time. I'm living by myself, broken ankle, lockdowns, and I'm like scared because I don't want that thing. And so I had made this plan. I was going to go with my mom and stay with her. And my eldest sister, love you, Jeannie Beanie. She said, girl, you better stay yourself home because you know our little brother will drive you nuts. Because he going to be in and out. And so I was like, you know what? She's right. And I stayed. And I am so glad that I did because like a couple days after that, like I guess it was the end of March. No. Yeah, a couple of days after that, I became symptomatic. I would not have been able to. The guilt would have been too much for me to bear had I gone over to my mother's house and gave that to my mother and my little sister. Anyhow, so can you imagine me by myself, broken ankle, and now symptomatic with the original strain? And that thing is no bueno. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. By myself, couldn't go to the doctor, didn't have anybody to care for me. I'm living in a duplex on a broken ankle, gotta walk up and down the stairs. It was all right, so I'm laying the groundwork as to how things could have happened the way that they did come December or October, December of 2020, right? So fast forward. By myself, since April. Fast forward, everybody's going back to work. In October, they decided to kind of lift things on the job, and so they allowed many of us to go back to work that fall, October. So I decided to take a picture on the premises of in a classroom. The children didn't arrive just yet. And so I decided I'm going to take a picture. And I was like, not bad for 53 at the time. I'm 56 now. So I took the picture and posted it on Facebook. Now, generally when I post things on Facebook, I don't expect anything. But the people that I know, they're so gracious and they'll like the picture, they'll comment. Even though I don't post and engage on a regular basis, I know some really down-to-earth people, good salt of the earth people. And so, I'll get the likes and, oh, you look beautiful and things like that. But I didn't expect anybody to private message me on Facebook. So I got this private message and it went a little something like this. Girl, you haven't changed since 229. Now, 229 was the intermediate school that I had gone to as a young girl. And no one in my adulthood would know anything about that. So clearly this was somebody who had known me from the time I was a young girl. I didn't respond. His picture looked familiar. But again, time has passed and I really didn't know how to respond. I would go on Facebook from time to time and You getting down? Oh, she want her little time to shine. Mama, get down. You can't get up there like that. Anyway, thank you. She's so damn rude. So, where was I? So, I waited a month. I waited 1 month before I responded. And, you know, I said, LOL, I do my best. I mean, I didn't know what else to say, so I just said, LOL, I do my best. And I left it at that. I didn't think anything more was going to come of it. And so I went about my business, and I got another message from him. And he was like, "You have always been so beautiful, my 8th grade crush." Well, now, I had no idea somebody was crushing on me in the 8th grade. I was totally oblivious. And clearly, I'm still a little clueless when it comes down to men. And we will get to that a little bit later. You coming back? All right. So, I mean, I didn't know how to respond. Nani, will you please just get down, Mama? Thank you. She's a mess. Anyway, I didn't really know how to respond to that. It felt awkward. I mean, that had, no one has ever revealed something like that to me. I was flattered and surprised and stunned. And so I just wrote, well, it was goofy. But I wrote, why you didn't tell me? Okay. I'm not good at this. Okay. Anyway, so he wrote back, and we started corresponding, because he kind of seeped into my little, ego a little bit, kind of stroked it a little bit. And that Leo and me, we have a thing for compliments. It's just, but anyway, so this is okay, I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. So we begin corresponding on a semi-regular basis on Facebook, and I didn't intend for it to go any further than that. I mean, I hadn't seen this gentleman since we were in grade school, since 8th grade. And so I didn't think that anything was going to come of it. But one day in December, he asked if we could meet. And I was still very cautious about traveling, especially on the trains in New York City, given the fact that we were dealing with what we were dealing with in 2020. And so, I basically told him, how about we just talk over the phone? I'd like to hear your voice. So I gave him my telephone number and he called and we began to establish a conversation over the telephone. And the conversations were great. There was definitely chemistry over the phone, and I really liked his conversation. And I felt as though um, there was something awesome about him. I mean, we would be on the phone for hours, and I could afford to be on the phone for hours. It was December. We were on the phone for hours. I wouldn't be on the phone for hours when I had to work, but in December, we were off um, during the Christmas break. And early on in the Christmas break, I don't know how, but we thought it would be a good idea. Somehow or other, the subject of us meeting during the during New Year's would be an awesome idea. Like, I am so fucking clueless. Like, what was I thinking? I mean, it was so fast. And I was like, oh, okay. So he was supposed to come that Friday. And I was trying to get the apartment, ready. And he was like, well, actually, New Year's is Thursday. So I'll be able to, New Year's Eve is Thursday. What the fuck? Okay. So clueless. Oh my goodness gracious. So he came over that Thursday, and the chemistry was awesome. We had exchanged gifts. I got him a couple of things, nothing expensive, and he brought me a couple of things, and it was so nice. I was very appreciative, and so was he. And he also brought all the fixings for the New Year's dinner. And if you know anything about people who were raised by Southern people, we bring in the New Year's with black-eyed peas and rice and collard greens. His protein of choice was a pork roast hen. That man could throw down in the kitchen, y'all. He cooked the whole meal. It was so good. And I think that's why I was so fucking mad, because come on, you can't be doing that. But all right, let me keep going. As to why I was so mad. You just anyway. So he had brought me some candlestick holders, and here they go. I still have them. He's a beautiful, wonderful artist, and he had done a vase and gave it to me, and I put a rose in it. It is so beautiful, and I still have that. And I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep those things because the time we spent together, the memories that I have of him, during that time was awesome. We had a blast. I mean, we when he got here, I have this device, and you can request music and what have you on it, and we would like have these battles like, you remember this, and I bet you don't remember this, and we would be dancing, and just it was so much fun, so much fun that we had. And I was smitten. So as time progressed, he wanted to come like almost every weekend. And I was with it. I was with the shits, okay? I mean, we actually did click. But there was some red flags that I chose to ignore. And I'm not sure if I had any red flags. I'm certainly not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, right? And I'll never know, because he didn't share anything with me as to what may have made him uncomfortable. Right? He just ghosted me. So like I said, there was a few red flags, like his family history, his past relationships he discussed with me. They weren't the greatest, but neither was mine. But I believe that I had done the work to mature and be a better person, not only towards myself, but towards anybody who I would invite in my life, right? I try to be, or I try to treat people in the way that I want to be treated. At any rate, but one of the red flags was he would ask me for money. He would want me to send him money via Cash App. Now, I'm not in the habit of doing that. I don't give men my money, and that's, that Southern woman in me. My mother always said, you don't give men your money. You just don't do that. And he knew that, right? Because he was raised by Southern folks too, right? But I made it clear to him that it was a loan, and he began to nickel and dime me. So, 1 minute, if I call him, 1 minute it's, can you cash at me $20 here? The largest sum was $45. And the last bit was $20. And that last bit was when the tables turned on me. He called me, and he was like, I need $20. And I was like, okay. My spirit was like, yeah, you got to tell him now. This has got to stop. And so I said to him, Mr. M, I can't continue to do this. You haven't given me the bit of money that you've already borrowed. And he just kind of got all out of sorts. And it's the first time he ever yelled at me. And he said, I said I'll give you the money back. And I was like, we hung up, and I struggled with it. I struggled with it. And my instincts, it was like, bitch, you ain't getting that money back. But I have an inner Edith Bunker voice. And she was like, give him the money. He said he'll give it back. I want to punch that bitch in her face. So I sent him the money. And normally, every day from the time we agreed to see each other on New Year's, we had this morning ritual. I would send him a Bitmoji, and the Bitmoji uh, was like giving him a cup of coffee, and it had like a little heart on the cup, a steaming cup of coffee. And then he would send me something really beautiful, some beautiful words on it. And that was our ritual. Um, but Tamara, he yelled at me, and I just knew that he was gonna call me the next day and apologize because I didn't send that Bitmoji. And I just knew he was going to be like, Ange, I apologize. I was out of sorts. But that day had come and gone, and I didn't hear anything, and I wasn't going to call him. The next day came and went. The next day came and went. And I was like, okay. I was getting nervous. And I said, let me call this man. And here's the odd part. It wasn't so much about the money. But I wanted to know if he was okay. Goodness gracious me, oh my. And so he didn't answer. I reached out to him via Facebook. I tried to call him through that, nothing. And texting him, nothing. It's like he just disappeared as if he never existed. And I wouldn't admit that this man ghosted me. I wouldn't admit it. I kind of shoved those feelings as far down as I possibly could, and by not admitting it, I became bitter and angry. And I proclaimed that, you know what, if this is what the dating world is all about, I'm with the shits. People want to run around and hurt people. All right, game on. That was a time. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And so And so I kind of, I was pretty much like going from day to day in a daze. We had begun doing remote working from home again, remote working. And I would come to work. I would be in the very room that I'm sitting now. And I'm on camera, drained. You could see it was almost as if I was drained, pale, and so sad. One evening, I'm lying in my bed, and I felt a wet spot on my cheek. I didn't feel it coming from my eye. I felt it by the time it landed here. I was so numb that I didn't even realize that I was crying. But once I felt the teardrop on my cheek, the floodgates opened wide. And that's when I began to admit that, okay, I was ghosted. All right. This is real. This happened. And I said to myself, I said, you have a choice here. You can go on the hurting spree that you had planned, or you can love on yourself the way that you need to be loved. And I chose the latter. So the next day, I got up, I showered, I prayed, I began to accept the kind things that the people around me, all of my co-workers from Kennedy Children's Center, my family members who loved on me in spite of me not being able to accept it. I started working out, drinking exotic teas, continuously telling myself positive affirmations, absolutely loving on me. I made exotic soap luxurious uh, emollients. I listen to uplifting music, and I will have a playlist uh, for anybody who's interested in what I listen to that helped me uh, come out of that funk. If I can impart anything, if I could give anybody any advice, what that experience taught me was.
How about I just give you the steps I took? Step 1. Acknowledge your feelings. Allow yourself to feel the emotions that come with being ghosted, whether it's hurt, confusion, or frustration. Acceptance is the first step towards healing. Self-reflection. Reflect on the relationship and the ghosting incident. Consider what you learned from the experience and how it can contribute to your personal growth. Avoid self-blame. Remember that ghosting is often more about the other person's issues than your worth or value. Avoid blaming yourself and recognize that you deserve respect and communication in any relationship. Seek support. Share your feelings with friends, family, or a therapist. Talking about your experience can provide perspective and emotional support. Focus on self-care. Engage in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. Take care of your physical and mental well-being through exercise, proper nutrition, and adequate sleep. Set boundaries. Establish healthy boundaries in future relationships. Communicate your needs and expectations clearly and be mindful of red flags. Cultivate self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Understand that everyone goes through difficult experiences, and this is just one part of your journey. Rebuild confidence. Identify and celebrate your strengths and achievements. Rebuilding confidence takes time, but focusing on your positive qualities can help. Explore new interests. Use this time as an opportunity to explore new hobbies or interests. This can help you rediscover aspects of yourself and meet new people. Give yourself time. Healing is a process, and it is important to be patient with yourself. Allow time for emotional recovery and don't rush into new relationships before you feel ready. Remember, it's okay to seek professional help if you find it challenging to cope with the emotional aftermath of being ghosted. A therapist can provide guidance and support tailored to your specific needs. And finally, one of the most important lessons I learned was self-care is like dancing as if nobody is watching. In the dance of life, a solo affair, self-love takes the lead without a care. Like a waltz with the wind, a rhythmic trance, dancing through existence, a soulful dance. Twirl in the moonlight, embrace your own grace, no judgment, just acceptance. In this sacred space, footsteps of self-worth echo loud and clear, a melody of love that everyone can hear. Close your eyes, let go of doubt and fear. In the ballroom of self-love, you are the pioneer. No spectators, no critics, just you in the light, a celebration of self. pure and bright. With each step, rediscover the beauty within, a dance of liberation where self love begins. No need for perfection, just dance with glee. For in the dance of self love, you are truly free. So pair away through challenges, twirl through strife. In the dance of self love, create your own life. Embrace the rhythm of your heart's sweet song. Dance like nobody's watching, and you'll always belong.
Now, I missed out on a major part, so I'm gonna rewind a little bit, and I want to talk about how I allowed this man to completely get into my life. So, I had asked God for a sign. God, if this is the gentleman for me, please give me a sign. Now, the red cardinal has been a symbol of good luck, or everything is going to be all right for me. And during one of our conversations over the phone, he had said to me, he said, Angie, I keep seeing this red bird. I didn't think much of it the first time he said it. It was no big deal. But every time we talked, it seemed like he would mention this red bird that he had never seen before. And I said to him, I said, Mr. M, I had asked God for a sign, and that the red cardinal has always been a sign of good luck for me. Now, I had told him that, but in my mind, I was like, that's the sign. That's the sign. I'm in love under new management. I'm in love under new management. The hell? And I just threw all caution to the wind. I'm in love. He is my man. That's my man because I got the sign. I saw the sign. Oh, child. Mm-hmm. And I just, from that point on, all my guards went down, and he, you know. Oh my goodness gracious. What a time that was. What a time that was. For those of you who might be dealing with heartbreak, disappointment, understand that it will pass. And even though it feels as though you can't laugh about it, I'm laughing now. When I was going through it all, and I was 53 at the time. I can only imagine what it's like when you're younger. Don't let that destroy you. That's on them. Whatever they did to you, They'll have to reckon with that in their own time. It's the time for you to focus on you. It's time for you to begin to learn what it's like to love on yourself, so that no one can penetrate you and hurt you in that way ever again. He did me a favor. I am impenetrable now. I don't trust that easily. I'm always kind. I'm still me. I'm still funny and things like that. But hey. I think that's it. I don't think I want to share anything else. I'll probably do an insert or two. You want to say good night? Say good night, pretty. Say, I'm wishing you love, light, peace, and joy. Me and Pretty is wishing you love, light, peace, and joy. Until next time. If you're wondering, I did hear from the gentleman about maybe a year later, the one who ghosted me. It was 2 years later, as a matter of fact. Spirit asked me to, all right, now call him. I don't know why. Spirit said, call him. Kept telling me to call. I said, all right, I'll call. And he answered the phone. He didn't know it was me, though. He, I said, hi, this is Angie. Oh, hi. Is what he said to me. I'm surprised he stayed on the phone with me as long as he did. And I asked him, how was he? I was very civil. He's like, he's all right. I asked him how are things going. We talked for a little bit, and I asked him, well, what happened? He said that he had a stroke and that he didn't want me to see him in that way. I didn't believe him. I didn't. I hope that one day that he realizes he is better than that, and that he rises above what has him in the state of mind that he's in as it relates to the people that he invites in his life. It starts with one person at a time. We have to do better. We have to treat each other better.
watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.